Johnson again.
Same guy?
He's a good man.
That's right, he understands some things now.
What can I do for you today, Anthony?
I'd like you to cite and possibly tow away all of these cars that are being stored on the Fort Road town designated
You're
public
kidding,
right of
right?
way. No, sir.
Okay.
There's a town designated right of way, Fort Road. It starts where that woman is sitting in the bush and the fire alarm next to it. It runs perpendicular to Bay Street down to this point, and then it runs in this direction. So all of these cars here, between us and the woman sitting, as well as these cars here parked in this row, they're all storing their vehicles on the right of way in violation of town ordinance and state law. I have all the documentation for you to see.
Here's your ID back. Let me see that.
I could show you each piece if you like and explain the relevance.
No, I'll take a look.
Okay. That's the modern tax map. This is certification from the tax assessor that the other four maps that I have were in effect in 2008 when the Fort Road right-of-way was designated by the town council. There's the resolution of the town council in 2008 adopting the Fort Road right-of-way and saying you can find out exactly where it is by looking at these tax maps I have. And here's the town ordinance and the state law that I think are being violated by storing the vehicles on the right-of-way and thereby impeding my ability to freely travel on the right-of-way.
How is it impeding your ability?
Because I can't walk where these cars are.
So walk on either side of them.
The ordinance doesn't say that it's acceptable to park to block partially the right-of-way. It says the entire right-of-way. This, as you probably know, we're basically right here.
Yeah, I see that.
It seems to me that's the relevant tax map. I have all the other ones for completeness, but they're probably not relevant. Councilor Caswell Cook was on Facebook indicating that he was looking into this matter as well.
So what is the width of the right-of-way?
It's a 20-foot right-of-way as specified
Where does it say that?
in the resolution.
You're going to need to point it out to me because I don't see where it says that it's a 20-foot right-of-way.
Like we had any sort of run-in.
That's the resolution.
Yes. 20-foot wide right-of-way.
Gotcha.
And it's shown on the map, so it makes it easy to just look at the map and see that it runs perpendicular from Bay Street to this point and then turns and runs along the seawall.
All right, well, this is private property. I'm not gonna tow vehicles off of private property. I will document your findings, but I'm not gonna tow anything.
Okay, did you get the memo from Sean Lacey regarding public, Fort Road being a public right-of-way after our last meeting about 2 weeks ago?
No, I must have missed it.
Okay, after I met with you the last time, I met with Sean Lacey, and I emphasized that I thought you were an excellent police officer. You were very
Thank you, I appreciate
respectful. I didn't have any problem with you whatsoever. The difficulty I had is that it seemed as though Watchville Fire District may have been misleading you as to the rules regarding Fort Road, including whether bicycles could be prohibited and whether or not Fort Road was private or a public right-of-way.
Well, it's a public right-of-way that's on private property.
Okay, fair enough. And he wrote me and said that he had prepared a memo for the police department so the officers could be educated in knowing that it was a public right-of-way and that bicycles were not prohibited on Fort Road. So I guess...
On Fort Road, correct. They're not prohibited on Fort Road. They are prohibited past, at the end of Fort Road where Fort Road turns to sand.
Actually, as this map and the resolution indicate, Fort Road actually extends at least a quarter mile down the Napatry Point. And that was, in part, I think what Sean Lacey included in his memo. But you at least got the main point, I think, that Fort Road is a town-designated public right-of-way, right? We agree on that, don't we? All right. So, problem is that these cars are blocking it, and the town ordinance and the state law says that that's a violation. And so I respect your view, and I understand you have discretion. So unless you're willing to do something about it, I'd like to request that a supervisor come down so I can speak with him or her about it.
Well, I hear what you're saying. I have talked with my supervisor about it, and we have both agreed that we're not going to tow any vehicles off of Fort Road. All right. That's where we're at. I'm going to document your findings, and if there's an issue that you can bring up with the town manager, I suggest you do that. But I mean, this parking lot's been established for how many years? Long time.
Long time, yeah.
Long time.
But Fort Road,
So I'm not going to
Fort
come
Road's
down
been
here today on a Sunday at 11:15 in the morning and start towing cars off because you bring forth documentation that says that these vehicles aren't allowed to be here. That's above my pay grade to make that determination.
I appreciate that.
All right?
I appreciate that.
So I'm going to leave that for before I start towing cars from people and creating a bigger problem than it needs to be. The
I
town
think it's a
manager
pretty-
can look at it.
I respectfully submit it's a pretty serious problem to block public rights of ways.
Well, I mean, it's not completely blocked. You still have access to it. There's a walkway that goes down past the parking lot. It's completely open on the right-hand side, so it's not, you're not being blocked. It's just there are cars here, and this is their lot, and
I agree I'm not being completely blocked, but that's not what's prohibited by the ordinance and the statute. My free passage is being impeded, and that's what is actually prohibited by the terms of the ordinance and statute. Now, I'd say two more things about it. The first is that in lieu of having the cars towed, perhaps you would consider ticketing them for $150.
No.
The ordinance and statute give you the authority
It
to
does.
fine them up
It
to
does.
$500. And given that I can incur a $150 fine for just pulling over next to the Bluff Avenue right of way and having my disabled grandmother
well,
step out of a
that's
car.
apples and oranges,
Okay.
because pulling over on Bluff Avenue it's a dangerous corner. There's lots of pedestrians. You get cars that, believe it or not everybody travels the speed limit. So if somebody comes around the corner and is, say, traveling too fast or not paying attention, that becomes a safety issue. Because if your grandmother or you are getting out of your vehicle and you're not able to be seen, so respectfully, those are two complete different issues.
Okay, I respectfully disagree with you. We can agree to disagree, that's fine. A second point I would make is that I'd like to have, I appreciate that you have discretion and you think it's probably not appropriate to exercise that in favor of towing cars or finding cars. I get that. Above your pay grade, I think is maybe the term you used. So again, I'd like
the chief and the town manager need to make that. Not even my supervisor for today, who's the same rank as I am, because I'm the second shift supervisor, is not going to order me to issue tickets or tow cars. It's not going to happen. Not today.
I appreciate your indication that that's the case, but I still would like to have that. I'd like to hear that from the supervisor. Let's leave him or her, to decide that matter. If you could kindly have your
I'll
supervisor
call him. I know he's dealing with another department right now, so I'll call him and advise him.
Thank you so much.
Clear 16 going to 10 North Main Street for a full.
I have enough memory for all this. In the end, do we just need the police report?
I'd like to hear from the supervisor.
Just leave it running.
If you turn the resolution down, you'll have enough memory.
I can't see the screen well enough at the moment.
All right, so I just talked with him. He is busy with another department. He's not available to come down today. As I said, we are the same rank. He's the day shift supervisor. I'm the second shift supervisor. I'm just working overtime right now. So I advised him of your complaint. That is not a decision that he's going to make to ticket cars or tow cars at this point. That's got to come from either the town manager or the chief. Okay. So I would reach out to the chief or the town manager tomorrow, advise them of your complaint, your findings. I will document our discussion today, and then if they make the decision that Monday or Tuesday we start towing these cars that are in this 20-foot berth, then that's what we're going to do.
All right.
But as of right now, we're not going to do that.
I understand.
All right?
I appreciate you coming out so promptly and being so courteous, even though you disagree.
Part of the issue today is that people are allowed to disagree, but a lot of people don't like to disagree, and that creates further
I
problems.
understand. So your report will be available tomorrow?
Yeah.
And I will have a meeting with Sean Lacey. And I would ask that you please see if, Sean wrote me and said that he did send a memo regarding Fort Road. It'd be good if you could get a copy of that and see what he had to say about it. It's,
I'll look into it because I haven't seen it.
okay. Thank you so much for everything.
All right?
Have a good day.
All right. You too.